So back in Tekken 7, Leroy said these words: "I see you feeling yourself. That type of pride ain't good for your health." The disrespect my man received when he launched in Tekken 8 was insane. This man was considered Garbo tier, the worst character in the game. He was on everyone, and I mean everyone's low tier list. He was like F tier, trash character, but look at him now, boys. Leroy might just be back. Are we back to Tekken 7 launch Leroy? Well, let's talk about it. Now, I don't want to make calls too early, right? It's only been 2 days since patch 1.04 dropped, but what I'll say is this: Leroy feels insanely strong right now. He feels really good, like it's ridiculous. The frame data has made a huge difference, and like, bro, like, man. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. First, let's start with his parry, right? He's back to parry. Now, they might have broken Leroy's parry, like no cap. This thing is actually really good now. So in the patch notes, they did say that back 2 will now induce a war stun, right? So it's back 2. It will now induce a war stun. As you can see, it has a new animation, some knockback, right? It's like super plus. So the war stun they meant, at least what I got from reading those patch notes, is the war stun that was introduced back in Tekken 7. You know, when you hit your opponent against the wall with certain moves, you have that like war stun where they like bounce against the wall and you're like super plus. Now, it turns out that's not the case, bro. That is not the case. Leroy's parry actually was splats. It was splats now. That's ridiculous. Look at that damage. That's 80 damage from a punch parry. That's insane. That is so good. Now, I love this change, bro. I've always complained about how Leroy's parries, the risk and reward is just not worth it, right? Because the grabs are ridiculous in this game, right? But this, oh my goodness. This is ridiculous. This is insanely strong. Like, this makes Leroy an actual parry character. Like, this is what he needed to be at launch. Now, grabs are still a nuisance against him. Of course, he can grab you out of everything, right? All of his parries. But the fact that he's back to his classic Wing Chun parry is that scary now, especially at the wall, is ridiculous. Now, the second aspect of why Leroy's parry is broken now is the just frame parry actually now allows a follow-up. So, let me get it. There we go. Look at this. That's guaranteed. Now, the CPU is set up to like, I don't know how to record the CPU to stay on the ground when I set him to defense, but as you can see, if they get up, you get a launch, right? A relaunch. If they stay on the ground, Hermit forward 4, right, into ground pound, is all guaranteed. And it does like 70 damage, 70 to 80 damage. Now, that is insane. That is insane, actually. Like, it's ridiculous. From a punch parry, dude. Now, it's ridiculous. I think even TMM just made a video. Okay, there we go. Look at this. If they get up, you get a relaunch. It's insane. Now, you can counter it if you lay on the ground and like roll sideways, but like it's almost a just frame input. You have to time it like perfectly for it to just for the Hermit forward 4 to whiff. Like, it's that strict. Otherwise, bro, that's guaranteed, and that's like 70 damage. So it's ridiculous. Like, Leroy is actually a scary parry character now, which is insane. Honestly, I'm happy for this change. It might not stay, right? I think they only meant to keep the part where he gets a knockdown into down back 2, right? Into this, right? That is supposed to be it. I don't think Hermit forward 4 was supposed to be guaranteed, but this is insane. If it stays like this, bro, like Leroy is, whew, it's freaking scary. Okay, like that's the first aspect of why he's really strong right now. Secondly, we all know his rapid strikes have better frame data. Like, this change it's so good. It's so good. -2, I believe from -6 to -2, that is so good. And what I like about this, right, like all of his rapid strikes, so 1+2 -2, 1+2 1+2 -2, Hermit 1+2 -2, 1+2, now safe, forward 3 1+2, safe. So what I like about this change is the change in frame data, that you can actually move and set up some really strong mix-ups in mind games, right? Because that -2 You can move, you can step, right, at -2. You can go low to crouch, to go under highs, counter hit jabs, right? You can use your counter hit tools now. Leroy has the fastest counter hit tools in the game. Rip Steve, back 1, of course 13 frames, back 1+2, the only 12 frame counter hit launcher in the game. So now you have this crazy mind games, right? Okay, is he gonna stop? Is he gonna step? Right? Is he gonna counter it afterwards? Like, it's ridiculous. He just flows. I had a few games with my friend last night, and bro, like, you just flow. It feels like it's always your turn with these rapid strikes because of the freedom of movement you have due to that change in frame data. It's actually really, really good. Like, it's ridiculous. And that includes the addition of his ISO 1+2, right? Just having these two alone, like you can just get in, like, bro, like, it's ridiculous. Like, it's so good. You can just flow, right? This is a very, very good change to Leroy. I don't think this makes him OP by any means. Leroy does not have a generic down forward 1 anymore. This is -6, whilst majority of the game have -3. Right now he has the rapid strikes to make up for that, and it makes sense. They have tapped into his archetype and really, like, dude, like, I love this change so much. It's ridiculous. Like, it just feels so good. It feels so smooth. Like, this is the way Leroy is meant to be played. And of course, the fact that he recovers hit now from hitting you with rapid strike punches is also ridiculous. So as you can see, even in a combo, right, I get my hit back. As you can see, look at this, right? It's ridiculous. I get my hit back. Like, it's so good. It's so good. His chip damage game now is insane. Okay, let's put it in a scenario where we're going to hit, right? Let's say boom. No, let me turn off my hit first. Okay, no hit limit. Let's say I'm going to hit, right? Boom, I set my pressure now, right? You couldn't do this before because it wasn't really your turn, right? At -2, it technically can be still your turn, right? Depending on the reads you have on your opponent, the fact that you can move after rapid strike. So this just solidifies, you know, his archetype in the game as the Grandmaster of chip damage. Leroy, the Grandmaster of chip. It's so good. It's so ridiculous. And lastly is the buff to his back 3. Dude, the back 3 buff is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Not just because of he can get this on normal hit now, right? Like, look at the damage, bro. That's 50. That's combo damage from back 3. That's ridiculous. So not just this fact, but because of the damage increase as well, right? From 21 to 27. So Leroy has like super high combo damage now. It's ridiculous, right? So you must always try by all means to end your war carry. Look at that. That's almost 100 damage from an orbital. 100 damage. That's insane. Right? So like I was saying, you must always try to end your combos with back 3, 2, 3, right? Whether a war carry or just a combo ender as a whole in full. It's so strong. It's so ridiculous, man. Like, dude, he feels so good. Like, you just flow with the character, man. Like, it's a step in the right direction. Honestly, the only thing I would say they went overboard with is the parry, right? The fact that you can get Hermit forward 4 into ground pound up to 70 damage, potentially even 80 depending on the Oki mix-ups and stuff. Yeah, that's a little bit too much. From a parry, a little bit too much. But they made fun of our boy, right? The Wing Chun parry master can't handle Jin because Jin had the best parry in the game. Asuka, Jun, step aside, man. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Let the Wing Chun master show you how it's done, man. Like, it's so good. He feels so good. The parry game, he just flows, man. Like, dude, I will admit I haven't really been a fan of the state of Tekken 8, you know, but seeing how, you know, Namco are making these changes now, like, the game is heading in the right direction, right? It's heading in the right direction, and I'm looking forward to seeing more characters getting buffed like this, right? Now, there is a case of people saying they shouldn't really buff the low tiers, they should just nerf the top tiers, you know. But what I want people what I want Namco to buff a lot is the personality that the character has whilst in hit, right? What they can do in hit is what really defines a character's archetype or their personality in Tekken 8. So this change to Leroy is like really good. What they've done with Asuka, I haven't really looked at Asuka's changes that in depth, but like bringing out the strength of the character in Heat is what I really love about Tekken 8. So if Namco keep doing that, right, then they're heading in the right direction. Cause before this, like Leroy in Heat is like, okay, King in Heat, you're freaking scared of King in Heat. Lars in Heat is scary, right? Who else? Kazuya in Heat is scary. June in Heat is scary. But Leroy is like, you look at Raven, you're like, right? So Heat has to be like this scary thing that characters have in this game. And like Brian as well, right? Brian's Heat got buffed. So Namco know what they're doing, right? So now, as to is Leroy like back to his Tekken 7, launch state? I don't agree. I think people are overreacting so far. The only thing ridiculous about Leroy right now is the parry, right? Yes, the Wing Chun changes, the Wing Chun rapid strike punches are really good, and in Heat, he's scary. Like, it's supposed to be like that. He's supposed to be scary in Heat. So the chip might be too much, but you could do it before, right? It's just easier to do now, right? I don't really understand why people are making such a huge deal about it, but like, again, it's too early. I might be just too excited, I might be too hype. It might be OP, we'll find out in the later feature, but like, I believe this is how characters should be in Heat, man. Like, characters should really be insane in Heat. Like, it's supposed to be an actual thing. Like, it's so easy now because of the -2 change, bro. Oh my god. Sorry guys, I'm just so excited. Getting a character buffed, getting your character buffed in this game, it's a good feeling, man. It's a good feeling. So guys, Leroy mains rejoice. This is our time, alright? I don't think a lot of people will be tear-hoeing with Leroy. I don't really see it. I feel like Leroy is the kind of character you play if you really like the character, right? I don't think he's that OP, because keep in mind, at the end of the Tekken 7 lifespan, Leroy is still OP, but not many people played him, so I don't think people will play him as well that much after these changes. So anyway guys, what do you guys think of Leroy? Do you think he's too OP? Do you think people are overreacting? Do you think he's at least mid-tier? Do you think he's S-tier? So you let me know in the comment section below. So if you liked my video, check out my other Leroy stuff, including this awesome combo video. So G my boys, and play some Leroy Smith.